The most important part of this tutorial is the bra cup. It is important to get the right bra cup for this corset to come out well. And the kind of bra cup you are going to get is a push-up bra cup. You can tell them at the fabric store that you want a push-up bra cup. Once you get your push-up bra cup, if it comes with the iron there, you can take it out. If it comes with this iron thing that you can see on the table, you can take it out. Just take it out so that you can easily work with the bra cup. There are some push-up cup that doesn't come with the iron thing. If you see that one, it is even better to buy it. To get the right size for your cup, if you want full coverage, if you don't want to show any part of your bust, make sure that you size up when you're getting your bra cup. For instance, if your bust is 38, your round bust measurement is 38 for this corset, I would advise that you get a push-up cup of 40. That way it will cover your bust properly. And for those that have a full bust, those with small body but full bust, and when you measure around your bust, it gives you like maybe 36. You can also size up so that you can have full coverage on the bust part. This explanation is only applicable to those that want to cover up the bust part. If you don't mind showing a little bit of boobs, it is fine. Just use your exact bust measurements for your bra cup. I have a line marked across the paper, and that will serve as the shoulder line. Next, I'll come down and mark the bust point, that is the bust line, which is 10.5. I'll mark it and connect that into a straight line. The next measurement I'll be marking is from the shoulder to the under bust line. For this measurement I'm working with, it is 14 inches. From the shoulder line, I'll come down to 14 inches and I'll mark the under bust measurement and connect it into a straight line. The next measurement I'll be marking is from the shoulder line to the waistline. For this one, I'm marking 18 inches and I'll connect it into a straight line. The next thing I'll be doing is to come down to 6 inches from the shoulder line. I'll come down to 6 inches and connect that into a straight line. This 6 inches will just serve as a guide for the over bust. Now it's just to serve as a guide for the over bust line. I came down from the shoulder to 6 inches. The next measurement I'll be marking is from the shoulder line to the chest line. To get this part, you're going to divide your bust measurement by 6. After dividing your bust measurement by 6, add 1.5 inches to it. So now for mine, that's 6 divided by 6, it is 6. 6 plus 1.5 inches is 7.5 inches. That means from the shoulder line, I came down to 7.5 inches and I connected with a broken line. For now, we don't really need the chest line to be visible, so that is why I connected it with a broken line. The next measurement I'll be marking is the shoulder measurements divided by 2. I marked it on the shoulder line and also on the chest line and I connected with a straight line. The next thing I'll be marking is the neck depth and the neck width. I used a neck depth of 3.5 inches and a neck width of 3 inches and I'll connect with my curved ruler. For the shoulder slope, I'll come down to ½ inch and just connect it into the neck width. The reason why I came down by ½ inch is just because if you are attaching a yoke to this corset, a 0.5 inch is fine for the shoulder slant. I won't be adding yoke for this tutorial, but I am drafting in full for those that would like to add yoke to theirs. But in case you are making use of a yoke for yours, you don't want the upper parts opened, you want to attach a yoke to it. I came down by ½ inch because if you are using the net for the yoke, ½ inch is perfect. But if you are not using a net for your yoke, just come down by 1 inch. And for the chest line, if you are not going to make use of a net for your yoke, instead of adding 1.5 inches to the bust measurements divided by 6, add 2.5 inches. The next step is to mark the bust measurements divided by 4. I'll mark that on the chest line. And from the shoulder slant, I'll divide what I have left into 2 and get the midpoint. At the midpoint, I'll go in by 0.5 and I'll connect the points together with my armhole curve. The next step is to mark the waist measurements divided by 4. But before marking that, we have to reduce about 3 inches from the waist measurements if you want this corset to be snatched well. Reduce about 3 inches from your waist measurement. So for instance, for this measurement I'm working with, the waist measurement is 30. 30 minus 3 is 27. Now I am going to divide that 27 by 4, and whatever I get is what I'm going to put down at the waistline. The next step is to mark from the waistline to the hip line. The length of the paper is my hip line, and at the hip line I am going to mark the hip measurements divided by 4 and make a mark there. I'll connect all the points together with my curved ruler. The next measurement I'll be marking is from the shoulder line to the corset length. Because the corset cannot stop at the hip line, it will be too long. From the shoulder line, I am coming down to 23 inches. That is where I want the corset length to be. And I'll connect that into a straight line. The next measurement I'll be marking is the nipple to nipple measurements divided by 2. I'm just going to mark this one as a guide. This is a dartless corset. We don't need to take any dart. I'm just marking this line as a guide. I'm going to mark it and connect it into a straight line. The next thing is to come out by ½ inch from the center point there. I'm going to mark ½ inch from the chest line all the way to the under bust line and connect it like you see me doing. Now from the bust line, I am going to go up by 1 inch and also come down by 1 inch. So this is just to serve as a guide for us on the cup placement. You can place the tip of the cup at the top on any of the 3 points you marked. Place it on any of the 3 points you marked depending on what you want. I am going to place mine on the second point. Now, when I was talking about the cup sizes at the beginning of the video, I talked about getting a bigger size if you want full coverage. This cup I am using here is my exact cup measurement. I didn't get a bigger size when I went to the fabric store. You can see that my cup is a little bit far from the chest line. That is why I talked about getting like a bigger size for a full coverage. If I had gotten a bigger size, my cup will not be far away from the chest line. It will be closer to the chest line than what you are looking at here. Another thing you can take note is that it's not compulsory that your cup should sit on the under bust line. Once you follow the guideline like the 1, 2, 3 points you marked earlier, you can use that one as a guide on how to place the cup. It doesn't matter if the cup is not sitting directly on the under bust line. Just like you see me doing with a pencil, mark around the bust like that. And I'm going to take that measurement upwards like you see me doing. Now I will come in with my marker to trace out what I have there. After tracing out, this is what I have. I'm still going to bring in the cup so that we can mark the upper part of the cup. Use your pencil to mark the upper part of the cup. Be careful with the cup while marking. Make sure not to press in the cup. Just mark it as it is. I am going to use my marker to extend the cup part where the cup stopped. I am going to extend that to the side and also trace out the upper part with the marker. This is what the cup part is looking like now. You can see that what I marked out is my exact cup. So make sure that whatever you marked on the pattern is the exact cup measurement. For the cone effect at the hem of the corset, I am going to come out by 2 inches at the bottom there. After marking that, I'll go up by 1.5 inches and connect with my curved ruler like you see me doing. Now I am going to use my marker to make the part we are going to cut out more visible. Please don't forget, if you are adding a yoke to yours, this upper part will serve as a yoke for you. But if not, you're just going to skip the yoke part and cut out from the cup area downwards. I am going to use this front pattern to cut out the back. What I'm going to do is to fold my paper into two like you see me doing. And I'm going to come in with my tracing wheel and trace out everything I have on the front part, excluding the cup area because the back will not have a cup. So I'm going to trace out everything I have on this front pattern, excluding the cup. I'll trace it like you see me doing, and after tracing, I'll use my pencil to make it visible. This is after I was done tracing. This will serve as my back. I'm labeling it the back pattern. You can see that the front and the back is the same thing. The only difference is the cup part. And also I used a neck depth of 1 inch for the back. The neck depth is 1 inch for the back. So you're going to mark where your cup ends for the front, for the side front. You're going to make sure that you mark that point on the back pattern. It has to be the same thing. The side has to match up. So from that point there, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the neckline, for the back neckline. I'm going to mark it like this for the back neckline. I came down by 1 inch and I connected it back into the side. So that means the upper part that I'm showing you here now will serve as the yoke if you're adding yoke to yours. The next thing I am going to do is to take out 2.5 inches from the center back at the top and 1 inch at the bottom, because there is going to be lacing at the back of this corset. That is why we are taking out 2.5 inches at the top and 1 inch at the bottom. This is the part where you are going to fix your eyelet for the lacing. I'm just going to connect from the top all the way to the bottom to indicate the part where you're going to put your boning before and after the lacing. For those that would love to make use of a yoke for this pattern, you can style your yoke just the way you see me doing mine. You can do any styling for your yoke. I am just going to mark a sample of a yoke styling that you can make use of. If you like this one I am doing now, you can make use of this one for your yoke styling. And after styling the yoke like this, you're going to take in ½ inch away from this point to avoid any gaping there, so that your yoke sits perfectly on the back part. You can take out ½ inch away at that point. That is all on the cutting of the front and back. I am going to cut it out now. So after cutting the front part, these are all my pattern pieces, and for the paper cup you are going to replace it with the actual cup. So you are going to replace the paper pattern for the cup with the actual cup. So the paper part is not useful at this point. You are going to replace it with this one. After cutting the back pieces, this is what we have. Either you're making use of a yoke or not, you have all your pattern pieces complete. You can decide if you want to add a yoke to yours or not.